chilly in here.
I know. It's plenty.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just watching his mouth.
That's a good game, Jason. Good morning, Austin New Church. Good morning. Thanks for being here today. If you want to slowly mosey on in. We made it. We made it to Bad Bunny Sunday. It's worth it.
Bad Bunny Sunday.
I love it. So if you would come on in and either find a seat or would you stand up? We're going to sing a song that we've sang before, but stand, stretch your shoulders back, take a deep breath. My friend Sydney is here, and all is right with the world.
Thank you.
So we're going to sing one of our favorite songs and see what happens. Kindness pulls me. Your kindness pulls me to a place I've never been.
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 Your kindness pulls me.
Oh.
Your kindness pulls me to a place I've never been.
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 Close to you. Close to you. All I ever wanted, to be close to you. To be close to you.
To be close to you.
Your kindness changed me. Your kindness changed me. I thought I was alone, left by myself to grow old. You call me on, gave me a new name. You changed my heart and mind about myself. All it took was your embrace. To be close to you. Close to you. All I ever wanted, oh, to be close to you.
To be close to you.
Close to you. Close to you. All I ever wanted, to be close to you. With you the words of life, with you the words of life. Where else can I go? With you the words of life, with you the words of life. Where else can I go? With you the words of life, with you the words of life. Where else to be here in your love.
To be here in your love. Reasons to call include going after the cue. I watched as love ensued, and I lost every ounce of my own free will. I see your mouth is a healthy shade of pink, but it's only time that is keeping our bodies from sinking into the ground. What are we waiting for? Oh, what are we waiting for? I am a lot like you. I see beauty in all. How long can we hold on to this feeling we had just before the fall? You'll be the hero and I'll be the victim, you say. And we'll come full circle and I find myself singing songs to you in your grave. What are we waiting for? Oh, what are we waiting for? I'm no good inside this mess. I'm a wild-eyed romantic and I'm drowning in my carelessness. Even when I'm with you, I'm dreaming of big dreams. I'm stuck somewhere between my two most dangerous extremes. Oh, what are we waiting for? Oh, what are we waiting for? Oh, what are we
We gotta have Sue come up here. Would you read a little congregational verse with us? Would y'all read with us here? It's gonna work.
But those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Amen. Whoops, I thought there was another song. I was on my way out of here. All right. My name is Sue, and welcome to the show and tell portion of our meeting today. If you'd like to connect with us, feel free to fill out an info card at this QR code. That'll get you on a weekly email list, and you'll learn a whole lot that way. We thank you for continuing to be so generous in your giving, and you can donate anytime with this QR code. And if you are leading or are interested in leading a small group, there's a gathering for small group leaders on Sunday, March 1st, and you can sign up at this QR code. Say it with me. You can get plugged in by joining our chat on WhatsApp, the ANC WhatsApp group. There are several subgroups specific to different interests in there, and a general chat for all things ANC. And it's a great way to feel more connected throughout the week, because these Sundays often just aren't enough for some of us. All right, here's some events that are coming up this week. Today after church, there's going to be a town hall for all creatives, artists, lovers of beauty and wonder to plan and dream up how to use our space as an art exhibit. So join us right after this service if you have time right here. And then on Wednesday, this Wednesday, the 11th, we're meeting up at Leona's Botanical starting at 6:30, but come when you can. There's yummy food, beverages, playground for kids, and of course, delicious conversations with ANC friends. And your pastors will be there, so join us. Mental health professionals, God bless you, everyone. Stay healthy for us. Your meetup is this Thursday, February 12th at 7 p.m. at Easy Tiger here on South Lamar. And the February Prime Dinner, we're in our prime of life of 50 pluses. It's this Saturday at the Brimberries at 6:30 p.m. And you've probably gotten some emails about that if you're on that group. And then our Palentine's celebration will be after church on Sunday, February 15th. That's next Sunday, right? Okay. We'll have lunch, and we'll be making Valentine's cards and friendship bracelets, and you can RSVP, everyone, at this QR code. All right. And last but not least, our youth, 6th to 12th grade, join us for some fun and zany extreme games on Saturday, the 28th, from 3 to 5 in the community center. And thus concludes Show and Tell.
One more. This feels serious. Hey, everyone. So for those of you that I haven't had a chance to meet, my name is Ryan, and I help lead the tech team here. So if you don't see me out here, I'm usually in the corner in the back. And we're really looking for help. So the great news is there's a lot of ways at ANC to help. If you have a heart for kids, please go help in the kids ministry. If you're extroverted, that's what the greeters are for. My introverts in the room, the corner back there is the perfect spot for you. So really, it's a great way to kind of help kind of connect those in the room, but also those who join us from out of town or who are unable to make it. I think last I checked, there's 25 people on the live stream, and what that means is that's 25 families here connecting with us in this room. And so, you know, being a part of the tech team is really a great way to help serve those people who are not able to be here. And so, if you're interested, you know, as before, here's a QR code. But I will be in the back after service. Feel free to come talk to me if you have any questions. We're going to have a training here in just a couple of weeks. Just so that way we can kind of show you the ropes and get those who are interested involved. And then we also get together here about once a year for a big tech team dinner to kind of come together as a community. And so if that's something you're interested in, if you know how to run a smartphone, I promise we can train you up. And so, you know, definitely come see us, and, you know, would love to get you involved. And so with that, I think that's all the announcements. If I could have everyone stand up, turn and greet your neighbor, and ask them, what is your favorite Super Bowl party food? And to my online audience, good morning. Hello. I don't really get a chance to talk to you or see you all that much. I'm usually on the other side of the computer screen, kind of putting the live stream on, but I do get to see all of your chat messages, and it's a really fun way to kind of see, you know, where you all are tuning in from. And so, you know, please continue to use that, continue to connect with one another. And also, in there too, if there's any way that we could help serve you better with the live streams that we do and what we're, offering, please reach out. Please let us know. Would love to hear from you. And, really, I just hope all of you have a great rest of your day. I believe there is a virtual foyer later today. That link should be in the description of the live stream. So check that out. And, have a good day. Enjoy your Super Bowl, whatever it is that you like about it, the game, the food, the commercials, the halftime show, that'll be great. So great seeing you all. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Right. Right. There's no way Super Bowl food is this interesting. It's just not possible. Let's take note of that. Boy, these people really took off on that question, Catherine. The question of variations of orange and yellow food really got them going. Yeah. If I was a vegetable, I'd feel super safe on Super Bowl weekend. No one's eating you on Super Bowl weekend. Except jalapenos, stuffed with yellow food. I hate to kill that buzz in the room. That's so fantastic. This is as sober as y'all will be all day long. I hear there's a concert later with a couple of bookends of some people moving around with an oblong ball, but we're really here for Bad Bunny, are we not? Don't touch that channel. Don't get up and change your channel to the other thing being offered. Just don't. Oh, I love y'all. It's hard to shock you anymore. I'm thinking about a face tattoo. I said I'm thinking. I didn't say seriously thinking, but anyway. Well, I'm just going to get back on the notes here. We're never going to get through it. Good morning. Jason Ashley Morris here. If we haven't met, get on my Calendly. I met some folks this week that I've never had an opportunity to have a conversation with. It's one of my favorite things. Here's a little announcement. If you're going through a family crisis, lo and behold, I won't intuit that from the front row up here. If you're going through something, that's what those Tuesday and Thursday slots are for. I hate to hear when someone says, I went through a crisis and no one knew. My Tuesdays and Thursdays are really booked for entirely that. So if you don't know how to do that, just jump on Calendly, go to the website, or there's probably a QR code somewhere. I don't know how QR codes actually work, but it goes somewhere. Also, I can wreck everything in that booth if I just go back there. How many of you guys heard when he said, if you can run a cell phone, you can run it? Trust me, I can't run a cell phone. I'm the guy who for about 15 years didn't realize that my cell phone was feeding to the home computer, so all my texts with you were public knowledge. Strange. I can't figure these things out. I can wreck an enchilada. Trust me, I can't figure things out. Anyway, I lost my point now. And so everybody scream at once so I can't hear any of it. I'm also deaf, in case you didn't know that. Can one person please remind me where I was?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh, Tuesdays. Yes, thank you, Leslie Diamond. Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's what those time slots are for. So if you're going through something, let me tell you a little bit about me. Been pastoring for 30 years in one way or another, if you consider youth pastoring as well. I love to join you at your moment of disintegration and crisis. And it's not pretend, and it's not effort. It's what I love to do most. I don't want to balance your checkbook or pay for your car or figure out how to invest your money. I'm not good at any of those things. But if you're going through something and what you need is just an arm to lean in and carry some of the weight of the wall you're under or that you're carrying, just trust me, that's what pastors can do. I won't be your therapist. I've got a book full of references that I will give you to send you to the proper clinician. I'm not a clinician, but I can join you in your breaking points. I've been to some pretty low points and some pretty high points, and so don't eliminate that from your options. If you're having that week, get on my calendar, okay? How about that? Do I get to speak that clearly at 52, nearly 53? All right, there you go. Okay, back to the notes. So the sermon I'm going to bring you today was actually written for the 25th of last month, but winter weather had another plan, as you recall. And I have a weird relationship with words. They feel good for the moment, and then like a week later, I don't know who wrote any of this. This is all gobbledygook. This is all discombobulated or whatever this is. So I'm going to preach it not really knowing if it's going to land. So will you tell me if it lands? Okay. Anyway, the weather interrupted and we all stayed home. I think that was a really good plan. I was on the phone with pastors that I know around the country who waited till Sunday morning to cancel their church in Dallas. And I'm like, bro, don't you know how meteorology works? Anyway, it's actually hard to explain Texas meteorologists to outsiders. If someone leaves the garden hose on running all night and the temps drop anywhere near 61 degrees in Texas, we just cancel school for the week. That's how we do it, just in case. Anyway, we'll get back to our 100 days of 100 degrees soon enough. Can't wait for that, never fear. Before the winter weather, though, before Stan's visit and the panel we did last week, we were in the middle of a series on our values. And I think it's an important time, especially if you're new around here, to begin to figure out, who are we? We spent 2 weeks talking about safety, which now I feel like we squandered some time because now Lent is upon us, and it's kind of hard to get it in, but we'll figure it out. We still have to talk about curiosity, courage, and engagement before Lent begins, or maybe right after Lent begins. But today, we're going to focus on authenticity. And I'm anchoring my Epiphany comments this year in the series on our values because it makes perfect sense to my brain. I think it makes sense because these are the ideas that make this little house of faith and doubt so unique and special and universal. And the universal appeal of Jesus, of course, is the heartbeat of Epiphany. Okay, so you ready? It says pause in parentheses with 3 dots. You ready? It would say long pause if it needed to be longer, so don't feel uncomfortable. We're going to be fine. Here you go. Our value of authenticity as a congregation is the most aspirational of them all, meaning it may be the hardest to actually achieve and sustain. Authenticity is probably best thought of in what-if terms. For example, what could be true about us if we committed to live even more authentically? True authenticity is something we strive for. It's not something we can ever really consider ourselves sufficiently proficient or adequately good at. The church we see never fully matches the church beneath our feet, at least not yet, and that's what I mean by aspirational. If you think about it, organized religion tends to focus more on offering forms of escape, forms of medicating your reality, forms of hiding from the mundane truth of lives riddled with suffering and loss. Authenticity is a value not often found in collective forms of religious expression, Christianity included. And yet, I don't know about you, but it's what I crave above everything else. The trouble is, friends, my story and my chosen vocation have conditioned me to be really, really good at throttling back my authenticity, just enough to make you think that I'm being super real, and my notes literally say bulging eyes. Just enough to make you think I'm being super real, even when the deeper truth is that I'm hiding just the right amount of me so as not to lose your trust and confidence. You know, just because I'm a little more authentic than your childhood pastor doesn't mean I'm being fully authentic, fully myself. It might just mean that I'm microdosing full disclosure with finesse. And if you want to brag to your friends that your preacher got the word microdosing in a sermon, no one around here is going to hate you for that. Now, I'm no expert on the subject of preaching, but this much I know for sure: you can't fake authenticity. Honesty and transparency cannot be feigned. You can't preach about values that you refuse to live by. I mean, you can in theory, but it would be foolish if not deadly. So I both dread and anticipate writing sermons on this subject. Now, to refresh your memory, our website reads this way under the About tab up to the left-hand side. When we're doing it right, we get to be authentic and real with one another, speaking only what we can say wholeheartedly. Further explained, and just below that, it says authenticity, semicolon, we want to be nothing more and nothing less than real and honest about who we are and about who we're not. I love that sentence. I wrote that years ago now. It still resonates with me. I wonder if you can hear a sort of rocking chair in that statement. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing more, nothing less. And if you listen closely enough, there's actually two. Nothing more, nothing less, and who you are and who you're not. Who you are and who you're not. That's how I define an authentic person. I wonder if you've ever met any. You know it when you do. They're nothing more and nothing less than who they actually are and who they're not. Simple as that. And man, I hope you hear the good news in that statement. I really do. Some of you have waited your whole lives to fully unfold in a place with that kind of permission. Unfortunately, most of us came of age in religious ideologies that taught the opposite. Those were spaces obsessed with sin and estrangement and heaven and hell and angry gods and systems of rituals designed to quench divine wrath. Wrath, by the way, that we somehow deserved just for being alive, just for being human. Friends, if you were to ask me, why does Jesus still sit at the top of the heap of the sages and gurus and wisdom teachers, I would say because he required no such pretending or performance. Jesus was, as best we can tell, 100% authentic, and that's what he saw and celebrated in others. His teachings cut through the noise because he was exactly what he was and nothing more. No pretense, no marketing, no filtering, just real. You could also say Jesus was fully present, fully aware, completely alive. The perfect seamless mixture of heaven and earth, a harmonious balance of God and man, whatever language works for you. Friends, what we're describing is authenticity, a whole life of integration or a life fully integrated. That's it. And that means everything in the world to me now that the exhaustion of pretending has finally at long last forced me to simplify and integrate what's left. It feels true to me to say it. Above all things, I want to be authentic. I want to live in a state of full disclosure. Nothing exaggerated, no need to. Nothing misrepresented, no need to. Nothing hidden, no bait and switch, no pretense. Now, there's a dozen ways to think about authenticity and what it might mean, and all of them probably worth investigating, but a few ideas rise to the surface for me, and I'll just say these before we look at our text today. To say that something is authentic, we're saying that it's more than just real. We're saying that its origin is fully known. We're claiming that it can be verified as a genuine example of what it claims to be. Just as a thought exercise, ask yourself about the authenticity of a lot of what we see in the media today about Christians, public Christians in America. Something authentic is something that its origin is known and it fully represents where it comes from, and it's a great example of something that it actually claims to be. Now, Mark, the gospel writer, a friend of Jesus, goes even further. To Mark, something authentic is not only integrated, whole, genuine, legitimate, but it's also unmixed, undiluted, unified in word and deed. And so hold that thought as we look at our text today. Let's read it together, and I want to see if you see what I see. And it comes from Mark chapter 1. Verse 21, it reads this way. The little subtitle is The Man with the Unclean Spirit. Verse 21, they went to Capernaum, and when the Sabbath came, he, meaning Jesus, entered the synagogue and he taught. They were astounded at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority and not as one of the scribes. Notice how the people juxtapose the styles of teaching here. People know when power accompanies proclamation. People aren't fooled by empty words. The scribes, apparently, if we're following the thought of Mark, offered no real liberation or freedom, and the people knew it. Reading on, verse 23. Just then there was in their synagogue, notice that it was in the synagogue, there was a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, "What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." Next time you think of inviting people to speak up in church, just beware. You never know what they're going to say. "What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." Now, Mark chooses an interesting word here to describe this man, unclean, which isn't the same as evil or demonic. It means mixed or diluted. It means false or misleading. It means pretentious and inauthentic. Can you even imagine such a thing in church, of all places? Now, scrub this of all the Hollywood hyperbole if you can. No one is screaming or yelling or shrieking. I hear desperation and desire here, not demonic utterance. I'd paraphrase this man's interruption this way. Jesus, dude, what are you doing? This is where we hide. Don't ruin our hiding spot right here in church, bro. Let us be. We feel safe here. Verse 25, but Jesus rebuked him, saying, be quiet and come out of him. Again, tone matters here. Now, we can't be sure, but knowing a bit about the gentle nature of Jesus, especially when he was interacting with people in great pain and in need of liberation, I imagine the tone of this exchange went a little bit like this. Shh, 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 be at ease, man. I haven't ruined your hiding place. That's the point. You no longer have to hide at all. No one has to live that way. And that broke something loose in that man that day. Reading on, verse 26. And the unclean spirit, convulsing him and crying with a loud voice, came out of him. That's an interesting word, convulsing. It's a strong word. One we can only assume Mark shows carefully. Now, I'm not denying that there was emotion here in this exchange. Listen, being suddenly set free from a lifetime of false narratives, we're hiding in plain sight inside a religious community due to a mixed or confused identity, that generally would come with some emotion attached, no doubt. I'm just suggesting that this wasn't a yelling and screaming scene like we see in the movies. This was a profound liberation. And now for the result, verse 27. They were all amazed, Mark writes, and they kept on asking one another, what is this? A new teaching with authority? He commands even the unclean spirits, even the mixed stories, even the diluted narratives. He commands them and they obey him. At once his fame began to spread throughout the surrounding region of Galilee. So there you have it. This is one of the original first stories with which Mark begins to write his memories. This, after all, is only chapter 1. No Jesus the baby, no Mary, no shepherds. He's right into the action. Only chapter 1, and already the popularity of Jesus is building as the crowds began to see Jesus' unique blend of integrated word and action. And this, Mark suggests, is something powerful the crowds had not yet seen in the teachings of other religious leaders. Now, New Testament scholars know that Mark is obsessed with these exorcisms, with these unclean spirits. He mentions them often, and that word combination, unclean spirit, it needs some explaining. Frankly, if I could take it out, I would. I hate that framework altogether. To me, it feels ancient and unredeemable. In fact, my interpretation of Jesus holistically is that he came to abolish such unhelpful categories like pure and impure, clean and unclean. You know, wool and cotton, male and female, all the things. But this is where Mark begins. So we have to decide, what is an unclean spirit? Friends, ancient texts can be misleading and words change over time, so we must pay close attention. This much is certain, Hollywood hasn't helped us here. They've made exorcisms spectacular and terrifying. When I think of how I've seen them on the screen, I think this, friends, is unlike what we've seen depicted in art. I think this is a gentle exchange featuring Jesus drying the tears and cupping the face of suffering and tormented people, as I once heard Catherine poetically imagine. I'm not saying this isn't an exorcism. Of course it was. And truth be told, the Bible is full of these. Indeed, something dark and threatening had taken up residence inside this man, something that in an instant moved out of his body when Jesus questioned its premise, its assumed right to be there. But what was that? What was it? Did it have horns and a bifurcated tail? Was it fiery and red and loud and frothing at the mouth? Because I want to warn you, if it was cartoonish and outlandish and all chupacabra-like, it'll be way too easy for us to assume that such demons or devils or evil spirits could never live inside of me and you, and that would be a mistake. Now, don't panic, I can explain. I once heard the great theologian Dallas Willard define a demon this way. I was at a pastor's gathering in Oak Park, Illinois. It was 30 years ago. And he said, someone asked about devils and angels and demons, and he said, a demon is any false narrative you feed long enough until it takes on a life of its own. That's what a demon is. Dallas was right way back then. I've never forgotten that statement. Friends, more than any of the others, the Apostle Mark preserved for posterity stories of suffering people being set free from the bondage of enslaving forces. Long before the painters and the sculptors of the Dark and the Middle Ages left their mark on our religious imaginations, Mark described what he saw with his own eyes using a very simple word formulation. His word, unclean, simply describes a mixed spirit. To the religious mind of the day, unclean was anything that was diluted or mixed. You see, the holy and the profane did not belong together. It was thought at the time a total and unwavering commitment to purity was, of course, the fundamental demand of Judaism. It remains that today. But when Jesus comes along, he allows certain mixtures that the religionists would eventually murder him for. You know what I mean, work and Sabbath, Gentile and Jew, male and female, skepticism and faith, clean and unclean. They were supposed to be kept separate. It was unacceptable to mix them, and Jesus did all the time. Which brings up a fascinating epistemic question for us to consider. Did it, friends, tarnish the holy to mix it with the profane? Did it destroy heaven when Jesus pointed it out in the material world? Did it dilute or debase or debunk the divine to mix it with dirt? Or did it elevate and dignify the mundane to brush it with the unstoried, unsullied, transcendent? Think about that. What a waste of a sentence. I got like 7 D's in there. Y'all didn't even notice. Did you notice that? Did you notice that, Tara? Did it dilute or debase or debunk the divine to mix it with dirt? Oh my God, I'm such a geek. I love that sentence. I don't even care about football. I just want to get all the D's in one sentence. Anyway, think about this though. This is an epistemic crisis because they will murder him for this. He put the wrong things together. Think about this. Jesus did not die because God had to murder something so he could figure out how to love the creation again. Let that narrative go. What I will tell you is that when you speak to power and you mix the wrong things, it will take your life from you. It happens all the time. Did he blow it by putting the wrong things together, or did it in fact elevate and dignify the mundane, the earthly, the daily, to brush it with the unstoried, unsullied, transcendent? Think about that, because I think Jesus is consistently misunderstood and chastised on this principle. What we know for certain is that unclean spirit tabernacling in this nameless man, as well as the onlooking crowd. What we know for sure is they must have understood perfectly well what Jesus was up to that day. They understood his teachings because they could see it up close. How do I know? Well, because the text says, immediately they, both the unclean spirit and the crowd, were able to identify some kind of integration, some kind of authentic partnership between speech and action in the presence of Jesus. Mark, of course, refers to this as authority, which is a concept very closely tied to authenticity in the world of Mark. In case you're wondering what any of this has to do with our values as a community, stay with me for just a few more seconds. You see, the crowd says, this guy is different because things actually integrate. Unseen things align when he invites and or commands them to. Think about that for a moment. Has that been your experience in the proximity of Jesus? Because it sure has been mine. This is the reason I remain a devoted follower of Jesus. Things integrate, things align in the presence of his love, in the shadow of his teachings. Friend, freedom is the natural byproduct, and it can't not be when you're around the energy of a person who has such a deep level of complete integration. This is probably why you're still here too, because Jesus still makes sense to you at some deep level. I know it's why I'm here. And the unclean spirit and the crowd knew it that day too, that day that Mark is describing. So, okay, preacher, what does any of this have to do with authenticity? What does this have to do with our little church on South Lamar? I would say everything is the short answer, just everything, that's what. Because this is how I define authenticity, something fully integrated, no false narratives vying for legitimacy, simple, complete integration of word and action. Someone who is authentic is someone who can freely name what they are and what they're not. and it's no more complicated than that. Oh, I wonder if you're beginning to see the connection that I'm trying to make. Jesus helped this man shed his tortured double persona in church. There was some kind of mixed motive, some kind of mixed identity, some kind of crossed up narrative that needed to be straightened out for this man to be totally free. Just to refresh your mind, friends, in the ancient world, anything unseen was considered spiritual. Anything that wasn't understood mechanically or scientifically was assumed to be related to the spiritual realm where angels and demons waged war for the obedience and the allegiance of humankind. There are churches to this day that still live in that ancient cosmovision of the world. Anyway, back then they thought of rainfall and birth rates and disease and mental health and wellness. All of this was considered spiritual. It was all controlled by unseen spirits. And the level of a person's religious devotion was directly connected to favorable or unfavorable treatment by the spirits they couldn't control. Meaning sin and or any kind of contamination of the agreed upon purity cult, expectations. Any of those things, if you didn't do them perfectly well, they would invite bad or harmful spirits to negatively impact the life of the subject. This is why the crowd assumed someone had sinned. Do you remember the story? When they bring Jesus, the man born blind. The way they saw the world, someone had to have sinned to deserve that sort of physical impairment, but that's not at all, friends, how Jesus operated. You see, Jesus had authority because he moved about in a world where the seen and the unseen realms operated as one single unbroken continuation one of another. To Jesus, the world was not divided, hear me, into clean and unclean. It was divided into liberated and not yet liberated lives, period. There's only two categories. Friends, in conclusion, Jesus offers this man the opportunity to integrate his whole life, to unburden himself of the stories that lived inside him, stories that ran cross-grained to the love and the freedom, to the wholeness and the full integration that Jesus preached. Oh, I hope something in you is starting to say, what if that could be true for me? What if I could experience that? I hope you're beginning to feel that. Jesus offered him the chance to come fully alive, finally, with no need to hide in plain sight anymore. No more disintegration, just release, just freedom now, freedom from a split life, freedom from a double identity. And that's what this has to do with this lovely little house of saints and sinners, our sublime little house of sages and fools, our wonderful little house of faith and doubt right here on South Lamar in Austin, Texas. This is the value I want this place to be rooted in, perhaps more than any other. I want people to describe us this way when asked, what do you know about the crazy people that gather at Austin New Church? I want people to say, well, they're authentic. They are as advertised, they are unpretentious and totally at ease because they are what they are and nothing else. Oh, dear ones, let it be this simple. Let it be this simple. Let this be a place where our truest stories can finally align. You've been carrying them for so many decades. Let this be a place where they can finally align. Let this be a place where we no longer have to pretend to be what we're not or to not be what we are. Let this place be where pretense and performance absolutely make no sense at all to us. Let this be a place where stories and identities and split and contradictory narratives collapse into full and unforced authentic integration. This final thought. You certainly don't need me to tell you that religious communities are not generally known for being places of great authenticity. That's why this man could hide there in plain sight, in the middle of a spiritual house of worship. Oh, but I think ANC can be known for the value of authenticity if we work at it. Think about it, friends. Spiritual, mental, and emotional health and wholeness and integration, they should, they must be the result of living in such simple, powerful, compelling authenticity. To live in authenticity, all you really have to do is stay focused on the fact that you are nothing more than what you actually are, and you are nothing less than what you actually are. Because, friends, hear me, you don't need to be. You never did, as it turns out. You were sold a product that was peddled through a message that told you that God hated your sin and therefore hated you. And if you didn't partake in just the right way, that you couldn't even be looked at by God. But friends, if that were true, Jesus would not be found doing the things he's doing, speaking the way he's speaking to the people he encounters. You never needed to live that split life. Full integration is total freedom, and that's the legacy we all share. That's our truest nature, if you must know. That's our deep past and our deep future. That's why we call it original goodness, inherent goodness, not original sin. The moment any institution, especially religious in nature, begins to demand that you become something that you are not, something that you will never be, friends, run for the door and take your wallet with you. They rally under a flag of pretense. Integration, you see, is the goal of spirituality. That's what we call freedom. That's what we call liberation. That's what we call salvation and redemption. That's what we call heaven and release. You might be whispering to yourself, but Pastor, you don't know what I've seen. You don't know what I've done. You don't know who I've hurt. You don't know what I have survived, what I have been through. You don't know the pain I carry. You're right. I don't. But all of it has a place in your story. Jesus offers us, like he did that man in Mark 1, all of us, the opportunity to integrate it all. No need to change it, no need to alter it. Friends, it all fits. Integration doesn't require anything to fundamentally change its nature to be woven in. Friends, you're loved, you're loved, you're loved. That's the final word, you are loved. The greatest news anyone could ever give you is simply this: you'll never have to be what you're not to impress God. Authentic is all you'll ever have to be. What a joy it is to remind you of that today.
One of my favorite theologians happens to be trans. He said that we are all sometimes acting like who we want to be in order to become who we are. And that that shift, going from and trying to integrate all of those different parts. So today, I've been looking forward to singing this song and having Sydney sing this song, but I want you to sit and think about what that looks like to actually have that full integration. I think there's a few people in here that there's no doubt that who you are is who we see. But having grown up in churches that the wait staff at the restaurants do not look forward to seeing the after-church crowd, I knew those people too. So can we not be that? Can we be who we are? Let's sit and sing a little bit.
Walking on a tightrope, high on all this false hope, through a foggy window, I can see myself. She says slow and steady, if you were there already, you might keep forgetting. Good things just take time, as I am at a standstill. Maybe I should stand still. When I'm moving fast again, halfway up the hill, I'll be wishing I could stand still. Hate to even ask it, wishing we were somewhere else, but I'd rather be with you than pretending I don't miss you. Can we just see this through? Give it one more try, 'cause we're at a standstill. Maybe we should stand still. I'm scared it's gonna end, but then again everything will. So maybe let's just stand still. Standing on the sidelines as people pass you by, smiling in the fast lane. They seem so secure, but I'm pretty sure at some point they felt the same. So don't you even sweat it. Everyone's just guessing. One of life's great blessings, to just enjoy the ride. So if you're at a standstill, it's okay to stand still. You don't have to gain the world to say that you're fulfilled. No, you just have to stand still.
I'll tell you what, Bad Bunny better bring his A game to upstage that. I have a feeling he will, but Sydney and Mark, my God, my God. Y'all stand to your feet. I have a thought that connects to this song. We're trying to integrate sermon and song a little more around here. Think about this. If you've been convinced that you are wrong and you are flawed and you are dirty and you are broken, you cannot stand still. You'll be noticed. And so you fidget and you wiggle and you move around in systems of spirituality so as to create all kinds of horsepower and dust and froth, but you can't stand still. And I just described for you my life in the church until now. My wife and I went back to a place, a little house of former employee of mine, tiny little place in Houston where we celebrated the life of a good friend who passed tragically. And I walked in. I hope no one's listening from Houston. Can you tell them to not listen? There's only 50,000 of them. Walked into the building, and that converted basketball arena in a monument of evangelical faith belched that ice cold air over me, and it all came back to me. I scurried and ran and dug around and created things and painted stuff, and I did everything I could in those seasons of my life just to resist being seen, because I couldn't stand still, because I was afraid that I was broken beyond repair. And friends, there is no gospel better than hearing that you can finally just be. That song that Sydney just sang is I'm a music geek. It's my clock and the game doesn't start for a minute. You're not going to die if I add a little detail here before the Eucharist. That song is written by Katie Pruitt, and if you don't know who that is, you need to. Her debut record back in 2020, I think NPR rated one of the top 3 coming out records of the year. Katie grew up in the church, except she was queer and brilliant and artistic, and so the church didn't fit her anymore. And she went on to pursue a major music career, and she sings that song with Rustin Kelly, who's now 5 years sober from a horrible addiction that cost him his marriage to Casey Musgraves, if you want to know. No two people fit more poorly in the church that you grew up in than a queer songwriter and an addict. And yet, who speaks to us? It's the people that the church does not see. Jesus holds their hands, holds their face in his hands. I don't know what you want to be part of for the next 50 years of your life, but that's what I want to be part of anyway. It was great to get back to Austin last night and kick off that monkey suit, 3-piece monkey nonsense suit, and those shoes that don't fit anyway, even though they look great with a suit, and put on some half-made boots and walk down Congress and order a cholesterol-laden hamburger from Hop Dottie, and just remember, my life here is so effaced and open and transparent, and there's nothing I want more. You could offer me millions and millions of dollars in a bank account, and I'm just not going to pretend anymore for it. So there you go. Let's meet up this week on Calendly. If this resonates with you, or if you need to know where in the heck Mark is getting musicians like this from, we're not sure, Sydney, but wow. And you know a confident vocalist when they keep their eyes open. Yeah, when we don't know how it's going, we close our eyes because we're afraid, Sydney, wow, amazing. Okay, let me get us ready for the Eucharist. Yep. Why don't we circulate later some, how do we go listen to you do stuff? Like where?
Spotify.
What's it?
I'm Sydney Scott.
Hi, Sydney Scott.
Hi.
But also she's here this weekend on Saturday.
Here?
With the Soul Sirens and Ray Prim. Yeah.
Oh, with Ray Prim and the Soul. Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense now. Okay, well, that's Valentine's Day. So bring your date to the 04 Center, right? Bring your date to the 04 Center. Okay, if I don't do the Eucharist, somebody's gonna pull a cane off the side and just jerk me off the stage. Here we go. Let's get ready for this. I want you to feel the texture of this prayer. I want you to also notice these specific words. Where could we hide from your love? It's in our weekly liturgy. I also want you to know these words. Remind us of our complete cleansing by your Spirit. Friends, there's nothing left undone. Stop trying. Just fall into it. Nothing left undone. That should take a load off of you. But let's read these words and then we can pray together. We'll take the Eucharist. You know how it works. At the base of the stained glass, we'll have one more song and we'll be on our way. Almighty God, to whom all hearts are open and all desires are known, where could we hide from your love? Remind us in this very instant, in the most concrete way, of our complete cleansing by your Spirit, that we may perfectly love you in response as you perfectly love us, through Christ our Lord. And Christ, our example and friend, our protector, the one who finds us in our pain, has set a place at a table, a common table that will only ever be set for you. No one will ever take your place. So as you wholeheartedly seek to live and walk in love and peace and justice and the good hard work of healing and integration and authenticity and advocacy with yourself, with one another, with the world at large, let us now in so doing turn our hearts completely to God with these words and pray them with me. They're on this screen. Merciful God, we believe that you accept our heartfelt confessions today. Knowing you to be gentle and kind, even when we are not, we confess. We have been distracted, at times lacking in love. We have failed to love our neighbor as ourselves because we have failed to love ourselves as you do. So forgive us, we pray, and free us to be a people of peace through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. And it was a Thursday night when he gathered his close friends and he broke bread and he said, this is the symbol. Avoid it if you must, deny it if you have to. You'll come around, it will wear you down, but all bread is holy, and my body will go through this pain cycle and come out alive on the other end, because so will you and so will all things. And then he lifted a cup to heaven and he sealed the deal. Pray these words with me and we'll approach the table. Our Father and Mother who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, and sorrows like sea billows roll. Whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. With my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. For me, be it Christ and strength. If Jordan above me shall roll, no pain shall be mine, for in death as in life, thou wilt whisper thy peace to my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. With my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. And Lord, haste the day when afraid shall be sight. The clouds be rolled back as the scroll. The trumpets resound, and lo, it is well. It is well. It is well with my soul. It is well.
Sioux Sage, and at its lowest, a moment of sudden realization. But can a slow dawning also be a kind of epiphany? We are discovering hard light bulb moment. Oh, this is who we are. The progress we thought we had made as a culture perhaps had simply driven the ugly further underground. We are legion. This is the painful gift of authenticity. The dawn is surely breaking. We see it all. As the truth emerges, as the light snaps on in each house of faith and doubt, but see each other. It is well with our soul. May you go in peace.